rumors are running around left and right that Lauri Markkanen may be traded to the Warriors, to the Spurs, somewhere else. Let's talk about it. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans, Golden State Warriors fans, fans of any team, or fans of Lauri? They're coming in saying, hey, what's going on with him? Welcome to TSR Sports. I caught an article from Bleacher Report this morning about potential trade suitors, but before we get into that, I actually wanted to pull this up because right now, the trade market has changed exponentially because of the Mikal Bridges trade. If you don't remember this, let's recap this real quick. The New York Knicks received Mikal Bridges and a 2026 second-round pick. The Nets received Bogdanovich and unprotected first-round picks. Unprotected in 2025, 27, 29, and 31. An unprotected pick swap in 28. Top four protected 2025 first-round pick via the Bucks, which will be probably a late-round pick, and then a second-round pick in 2025. Oh my god, that is ridiculous. I haven't addressed this on the channel. This was way too much in my humble opinion. So this is the trade market right now. We saw Rudy Gobert a couple of years ago where the Jazz got, 5 first-round picks for Gobert? So right now, if you're looking for a star player, or has Mikal Bridges ever been an all-star? One time? No time? The trade market is ridiculous right now, with the sellers getting everything, the buyers just getting maybe one thing. So I want to put that out there before we get in the article. That being said, let's get into the article. And my article's not lined up. I don't know what happened there. There we go. The Warriors are, start with Golden State. The Warriors are seemingly hoping to give Steph Curry one last crack at contention, but after missing out on Paul George, the remaining options are wholly uninspiring. Markkanen might be the one difference maker on the board capable of getting the club onto at least the fringes of the championship discussions. I think the Warriors are going to need more than just Markkanen. They are in win-now mode. Klay Thompson just went to the Mavericks, went to a conference rival, the Mavericks. Steph's window is closing. Yes, he's still an absolutely great player, but that window is starting to close. Is it already closed with Golden State? I don't know. Markkanen would certainly be a big move for the Warriors to help advance them back to, contender status, if you will. But I think it's going to take more than just Markkanen. The Kings come up, and I didn't realize they were possibly a team that was in the mix. The Kings, with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, their window to win is right now too. Yeah, I would say pretty much right now, provided they can get the necessary lift. And they would kind of have their own little Twin Towers thing going with Sabonis and Markkanen, so the Kings, maybe not. Of course, I want to address this as a San Antonio Spurs fan. So our San Antonio Spurs, for the Spurs fans that are watching, might seem a strange squad to include in any contending talks on the heels of their 16-loss campaign. Back-to-back 16-loss campaign, for the record. But we all saw how absurdly dominant Victor Wembanyama was during his first NBA go-around. Yes, he was absolutely just a treat to watch and met and exceeded all of my own personal expectations. San Antonio has enough assets to attempt a rapid acceleration. Yes, they do. A ton of first-round draft capital over the next 5, 6, 7 years. It just splurged on Chris Paul. Didn't we splurge on Chris Paul? 1 year, $11 million? What did he make last year at Golden State? 20, 25, 30 million? I don't think it's a splurge. The steadiest point guard play in getting Markkanen would make Wembanyama significantly harder for opponents to handle. I did a poll recently on this channel. Would Spurs fans want us to make a trade for Markkanen? And last I checked, it was 75% yes, 25% no. So this is a player Spurs fans certainly would say, hey, bring him on in. Me personally, Spurs aren't in win-now mode right now. Some people may say, yes, we are TSR. Wemby's a tall guy. You don't know how long he's going to last with his injuries. Yeah, maybe 5 years from now, I'd agree, okay, we need to start doing something. But right now in year number 2, no. And I feel like we'd have to give away too many assets, i.e. draft picks, to get a player that's on the last year of his contract, and he does have an injury history of his own. Great player. Would he improve the team? Yes. I feel like this would be taking a step to rushing the rebuild. That 2025 draft class is loaded. The Spurs have their own pick. They have the Atlanta Hawks unprotected pick. They have a top 10, I believe, pick protection with the Bulls, and then a Charlotte Hornets first-round pick, which is lottery protected. That's not going to give away. The Hornets are going to suck next year. So for the Spurs, no. I just don't think, with the cost of players right now for trades, is Markkanen worth 5 first-round picks? Do they have a feeling that would be the asking price for the Spurs? I don't think so. And then the Timberwolves, which is I am kind of shocked they're on here. The Minnesota Timberwolves almost certainly don't have the assets to land Markkanen. No, they just traded away, what was it, 5 first-round picks for Gobert a couple years ago? But it feels notable that they're poking around. They made a bold draft night deal for Rob Dillingham by San Antonio Spurs, and now might be eyeballing Markkanen. That's interesting activity from a club that just won 56 games and made the conference finals. And if this did happen, I guess you could call it the Triple Towers if somehow Markkanen lands in Minnesota. You got Cat, you go Bear, and Markkanen. But what assets do they have left? Who the heck knows? We'll trade you our picks in 2032, 33, 34, and 35, and 36, all first round unprotected. So the Timberwolves win right now and win, the next couple years, and then just committed to sucking for from 2030 and up, and having all their having players like Ant leave because they're like, you're not bringing anybody in. We don't have any. So I don't know. In closing, is Utah ready to move on from him already? They have a ton of draft capital. Do they need even more draft capital? Can you have too much draft capital? And it's going to get to the point where you can't draft everybody. But this is a player that's getting talked about a ton the last 24 hours as a San Antonio Spurs content creator. His name is being linked with the Spurs left and right. Seeing a lot of reports saying the Spurs want him for the right price. In trade package, sure. I would prefer if we do trade for him. This is if it's possible, I don't know what it is with the CBA, a sign and trade type deal where he signs an extension with Utah before being traded, a 3 or 4 extension. So that way you're not giving up a ton of assets for a player, trading for him, but they come here for 1 year and then they're out the door. Because the Spurs aren't set to win next year, and to bring him in for 1 year and lose precious draft capital would be awful. Don't see that happening. I can't imagine us making a deal. You would think something be worked out before them, but who the heck knows? Drop a comment down below. Do you think Markkanen will get traded? If you're a Spurs fan, what would you be willing to give up for him? If there's any Warriors fans, Kings fans, Wolves fans, what kind of draft capital do you have left? What are you willing to give up? Do you think he's the missing piece getting you to an NBA championship? Or like the Warriors, like I said, do you think maybe you just need a little bit more out there before you're ready to say, hey, we're a legit contender this year? I thank you all for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. And for our Spurs community, thank you. And as always, go Spurs, go. Ready